Do you guys remember when I purchased a handful of Folio Society books for $100? If you've been watching my videos for a few months, you probably remember this. I purchased them back in, excuse me, November. It's February now, February 20th. And I just sold this one, which I believe, I'm basically 99.9% sure. But yes, this is my last one. And this has a couple of different, I don't want to take it out. Whoops. It has a couple of different books in there, but you can just kind of see they have the really cool spines. I think it has 4 books, 3 or 4. But I purchased a total, I had 4 sales, so I purchased 4, even though there's more than one book in there. I'll just call it a book, one book. But I purchased multiples and, I mean, not the same one, but multiple Folio Society books. And this is my last one to sell. And I wanted to share with you, how I did on those, because I spent $100, and I remember talking about them saying, was it worth it? And now we can look at the numbers. Here's the spreadsheet I've been keeping for these 4 sales. So as you can see, I had a sale. So actually, this is from it was November 16th of last year. I purchased all 4 of these, and so now let's see, December, January, February. It's been barely over 3 months to sell all of them. So $100 invested, and I sold all 4 of them. I sold one within, which was the most expensive one, within a couple of days of listing it, because it sold on, you can see it sold on the 21st there for $150. And then I sold one on December 3rd and then December 16th, and I didn't have another sale until the 19th, which was yesterday. So I sold one for $150, $37.99, $80, and then $80. So I have here the net profit, which is after all eBay fees and shipping. It does not consider cost of goods, of course, but I profited $122.14 off the first one, $30.29 off the second one, $64.92 off the third one, and then this one that sold yesterday, $62.03, for a grand total of $279.38. So you deduct $100, I made $179.38. Was it worth it? This is an example of paying up for books instead of sticking to spending 50 cents a dollar, $2 or $3 on a book that you're going to sell for 20, 30 bucks. Whereas, I sold one for 150. I sold one for, the lowest one was for 38 bucks, and then 2 for $80. So there was only one really big sale on it, but that book alone, that first one, already made back my money. So the rest of it was profit, which ended up being $179. So what do you guys think? Was it worth it? Now, in terms of pure profit, of course it was worth it. It took 3 months for me. It actually only took about 5 days for me to make my money back, but it took 3 months to make all of the profit I could off of these items that I had listed. But I actually made within a month had sold 3 of the 4, so that was good. I just wanted to talk about it because it's a little different in terms of paying up for something versus being scared to do that. It's essentially, here's $100 and you get back $279. And that's a pretty good return. That's almost $300, $21 shy of $300. So I more than doubled my money, almost tripled it, and that's pretty good. So, the question is, if I had a bunch of these coming in, would it make sense to spend, let's say, $1,000? Let's even up it more. Let's say I bought 4 for $100. So what would that be? So I had 40 of them, right? So if there were 40 of the books and I spent $1,000, $100 per 4 books, just to keep the number simple, $1,000 spent, and then add another 0. So instead of it being $279, it's almost $2,800 from 1,000. That sounds even sweeter, right? So the higher you go up in the numbers, as long as you maintain your profit margin, it's even sweeter. So it's definitely great if you have those opportunities to take advantage of them and to buy higher priced items. Now, Could you find something like this for much less? Maybe at a garage sale, maybe at an estate sale. Um, if you're lucky enough to get something like this donated to you. I've had many, 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 many items over the years, hundreds into the thousands at this point, many thousands of items donated to me that ended up selling for a lot of profit. So I didn't spend any money on it. I just spent the time to sort it out, take photos, list it. Could have sold on Amazon or Amazon too, but take photos, list it, sell it, ship it. That's the time invested. That's the energy and time invested, but no money invested. But nonetheless, if you can get something like this that is in good shape, and you know that you're going to make almost triple your money, I'd say it's worth it. Don't be scared of these types of buys when they do come along. Just make sure you do your research. I knew for sure, based on the eBay solds and what they were going for in the competition, that I could sell these relatively quickly. And it turned out I sold 3 of the 4 within a month, and profit nicely off of it. So, while it might hurt a little bit to spend $100 on only 4 books, if the books are bringing in a lot of money, then you can really make some nice profit. Also, if you're willing, like that $150 book, I think I had it listed for $200. I could have stuck to that and not taken an offer. Would have taken longer, but I would have made a little more money. So that's another thing to consider, is if you're more patient or just determined to make as much as you think you can make, or that is justifiable to make based on the solds. Just might take a little bit longer than the 3 months or whatever your situation is. And then you can, make a little bit extra money. Because if I had waited to get an extra $50, it would have taken longer. But that would have been, after fees and everything, shipping and all that, maybe an extra $40 or so, which is nice. For me, I'd rather just sell it quicker, but still make a nice profit and keep the items moving, get the money, buy more items, make more money. Essentially, that's how I look at it. But I totally understand if you want to maximize your profits on a bigger, on a more expensive buy like this one. So don't turn down an opportunity like this just because it costs more. You're probably not going to be spending $100 on 4 books in a thrift store, but maybe at an estate sale of someone that has really nice stuff, including books that are in great condition, that are like these Folio Society books that hold their value and go for great money because of the artistry and the design and the covers and the artwork and all of that stuff built into them. Then, consider it. Just do your research. Don't get stuck. Don't spend $100 and then you end up, only selling everything for $150. I don't think that's worth it. I think that you should be trying to at least double your money, especially on these higher priced ones, for sure. I wouldn't try to make spend $100 and make $150. Doesn't seem worth it, but doubling it to 200 does seem worth it, because then you can get that 200 back, buy these 2 times more, double your money again, et cetera, and keep going. And that's really how this reselling works, is spending a certain amount of money on your items and getting a high return, and just reinvesting it into more inventory that, based on your research and your experience, is going to sell. I also recommend tracking some of your sales, just to know if things are selling. If you're making enough money off of them, how long they're taking to sell, all that type of stuff. I really do believe in it, even though it takes extra time. And the more stuff you sell, the more time it takes to record it. But I think it's worth it to see trends, what's selling in the past for you. Should you buy certain items, certain sources, what kind of profit were you able to make? How long did it take to sell? All that kind of stuff is more than worth it to track your sales. And I do this for all my sales, and I break it down by by source. So this one here is those pallets of CD only pallets. And as you can see, this goes back to the first one sold in September of 2023 of last year. And then I just sold one a couple days ago as well. So I've sold so far 38 items from those pallets. So I have a good sense of whether it was worth it. And yes, it was, because I have pulled so many CDs, hundreds and hundreds of CDs from there that I put in my store, and I've sold many of those. Of course, not all of them, but I've sold many of them. The sales that I've made in my store has probably made back the money. But I calculated what my profit was on just these eBay sales. And remember, I have a lot more listed from these pallets, and I'm going to be listing a lot more as I go through those pallets and finish them off. Still have a ways to go before I finish them off, but I'm already to the point where I've doubled my money just on these 38 eBay sales, not including anywhere else that I've made money. So anyway, it's just a good way to be able to gauge your sources, whether they're doing well or not. There's some sources that might not, and then you need to drop those sources and find something else. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.